Pascal. You are now rocking with that dude Pascal. Original got the haters catching feelings. Get your hands up to the ceiling and keep them held high. Cause St. Louis isn't ready. Forget about it, goodbye. Hold on, we just saying hi. Five somebody, rise up. Weekdays, catch us live. Somebody, let's go.
Good morning. Good afternoon and good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Pascal Show. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. Hope this show finds you in great spirits, as it should. It should find you in great spirits, not only because it's another day above the earth, above the dirt, but also because it's Friday, y'all. It is Friday. I don't know about you guys, but I'm sure a lot of y'all, I'm excited about the weekend. It's a nice long weekend, okay? But there still will be shows and still will be work done on this show throughout this weekend. So be ready, because I know some of y'all want to be barbecuing and doing your thing outside and having a good old time, but I still will be giving you guys some news, because the news be newsing out here, y'all. I think we all can all agree on that. All right, the news be newsing out here. All right, but we got some very interesting stuff. Okay, let me just say this. This case is still very, very new to me. Okay, I heard about this. You guys have been adding me with about this particular case and asking me to cover it and talk about it and all that stuff. And I've been wound up in so many other cases. But then there's been some movement that happened yesterday. And it ain't funny. When I take the night off, that's when ish starts hitting the fan. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to talk about those things. And all the things revolving around this particular case. So do me a favor, all right? Hit that like button down below. Crush it. Do what it do. That would be greatly appreciated. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. That'd be greatly appreciated. If you are watching on those other platforms, please be sure to hit that follow button on Facebook, X/Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Show some love over there by simply hitting that follow button over there. That'd be appreciated. Hit that subscribe button over here. Go check out my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there on my secondary channel. Don't forget to hit that join button down below. Okay? Become a member. Support the channel. There's a lot of new things that members and patrons are going to get their hands on, early access to. So please be sure to become a member so you get those early access to those certain things. Of course, I just said Patreon, but if you want to be a patron, go check out Patreon, patreon.com/The Pascal Show. Go check that stuff over there as well. And of course, I got my merch page, pascalmerch.com. Go check those things out. That would be dope as hell as well. Okay, guys, let's get into the conversation. Okay, there's a lot that's been going on as of late, revolving around this couple, the Menards. Or the Menards. I don't know. I've been hearing Menards and Menards. How the news reports them, their name, how they pronounce their name, and all that stuff. I'm still kind of curious as to, how to pronounce it. But I think it's the Menards. So I'm going to call them Menards with all due respect. Okay. We have Dan and Stephanie Menard. They have been missing for the past couple days. Okay. They've been staying and they live in this RV camp area that is also known as a nudist camp. Okay. In the Redlands. Now, what's very interesting about this is how things have transpired as of late. Like I said, last night, some crazy stuff went down. Now, you might be going, what kind of crazy stuff went down, Pascal? Well, a man's house was raided in the same area. A neighbor, to be exact. An actual neighbor was literally hiding out in his home, and SWAT basically ran through his home, crushed through the through the walls of his home to get inside to arrest this man that they're suspecting is in connection to this whole thing. Now, of course, I'm giving you guys what the title says above or down below. And of course, we got to get into the conversation and try to understand a little bit more about this. Allegedly, there's going to be a press conference within the next half hour or so. I'm going to try to get my hands on that so we can watch that live together as a family, because let's be real. This is absolutely terrifying. This is absolutely sad. You got two people, trying to live out their lives, trying to be free, letting it all hang out for what it's worth, okay? And just enjoy their last, their time, the rest of their time on Earth, only to find out that allegedly a neighbor is connected to their demise. Now, here's the other thing that I've been understanding and trying to wrap my mind around this as well, is that they were in some sort of dispute, some sort of legal dispute with the actual property manager of this camp that they were residing in, which is also very interesting as well, because I am still kind of side-eyeing, or I still have a lot of questions for the property manager, for the powers that be that run the actual property. It seems a little bit odd how they have. Well, man, they haven't really talked, have they? Every interview that we see in this show, not one of them has anything to do with any of the property managers or any of the owners or any person that runs the actual camp, which I find to be a little bit weird. We're going to get into that conversation. We're going to dive into that a little bit more in just a little bit, but let's take a look at this, okay? So, foul play suspected in disappearance of elderly Colton couple. Now, here's the thing, okay? I want to make this abundantly clear, all right, that these are from a few days back, okay? This is about two days or a day old or something of that sort, okay? Because like I said, the news about this has, updates have been changing quite quickly. And so this is a very interesting, like I said, situation. And of course, we're just looking at it at the tail end of this whole situation. So let's take a look at this, okay? Authorities confirmed foul play is suspected in the disappearance of an elderly couple from Colton after law enforcement raided a suspect's home amid the ongoing search. Now, like I said, that's of recent, okay? But this is some information about the past, okay? Now, Stephanie and Daniel Menard, both in their 70s, were last seen Saturday, August 24th, and reported missing by a friend on Sunday. The couple's personal items, like their cell phones and Stephanie's purse, were still inside the home. And from what I understand, that's what the thing they say. Their vehicle was unlocked with the keys still inside, parked just down the road from their house. Weird, right? Again, her purse was inside their home. Their cell phones were inside their home. What's up with that? Clearly, you can't really say, oh, they left in a rush. Like they were taken. You also got to remember this too. Here's some other pieces here too to remember. And here's a photo of the couple here. They both are not super able-bodied, meaning Stephanie uses a walker, if I'm correct, or some sort of cane, and Dan has dementia. So for them to just disappear like this without their belongings seems a bit odd. The other thing too, you could sit here and wonder, maybe Dan had one of his spells, maybe dementia. Maybe he had one of his episodes, a dementia, induced episode, and that's why he took off. But then that would not make any sense on why she took off as well without her cane. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense, right? So let's continue on. On Thursday afternoon, investigators were searching for a suspect at a home next door to the missing couple's house at the 26,000 block of Kiesel Road. which is located at the Olive Del Ranch Nudist Resort. Okay. Now, SWAT officials and law enforcement agents surrounded the suspect's mobile home as an armored vehicle was seen tearing down a portion of the property's exterior. We received a phone call, and they did indicate that an individual who was involved in the disappearance of the Menards was on the property. This is what Carl Baker from the Redlands Police Department said. Okay, this is a tip that they received from an unnamed person. However, nobody was found inside the destroyed residence, and the investigators have not received any more details on the suspect. But then I hear that this guy has been arrested. So, like I said, this is a little old, okay? We are using remote equipment to conduct a search. We have not yet located anyone. We don't know where the subject is. He may still be inside, or he may be somewhere else on the grounds. Now, from what I understand, he was inside that home, but he was like inside the home, if you get what I'm saying. Maybe like maybe he had some sort of hollowed out area that he was hiding in, or something of that sort, right? And we're going to see some footage of the actual break-in and, of them breaking down the walls and all that stuff as well. Like I said, it's just weird, this whole thing, okay? We're using remote equipment to conduct a search. We have not yet, okay. Sorry. He may still be inside, which is, of course, as they were trying to find him, okay? And this was all going on last night. All of this stuff was going on last night, which is crazy, right? Friends and loved ones of the missing couple told KTLA, the article I'm reading right here, their disappearance is out of character, and they knew something was wrong when they failed to show up to church on Sunday, because I guess they religiously, show up to church on Sunday. And the fact that they weren't there, something was wrong. The couple's dog even as well, okay? The small white Shih Tzu by the name of Cuddles was also missing. Okay, and this is what the Redland police confirmed. So they even took the little dog too. And that's crazy, right? Both husband and wife suffer from health issues. Daniel has dementia and diabetes, and his wife needs a cane to walk. Police said woman's cane was also found inside their home, which sparked concern when their friends first reported them missing. So in other words, the fact that he has the diabetes, he's got dementia, she has to walk with a cane. This is not something where they could just be outside, in the wilderness, hiking and, camping out there for days without actually having their medication and whatnot, right? So that's the part that doesn't make any sense as well. They just up and leave, and it can't just be some random dementia, about with dementia with Daniel, because she would clearly try to stop him. She wouldn't just go with him all willy-nilly. That doesn't make any sense. If they both had dementia, then you could put that in there. You could put that thought in there, that idea in there, but no, that's not the case. Okay. But the fact that her cane is nowhere to be found, that says a lot, y'all. That her cane was not with her and that her cane is inside the home, that says a lot here too. Okay. Some neighbors who thought or who knew the suspect said they were surprised to hear he was under investigation. I don't really know him a whole lot, but he was a very soft-spoken guy, said a neighbor. Okay. He would probably be the last person you would think that would do something like this. And of course, they say no further details, including a possible motive, were released. This resort, where the homes are located, has been placed under lockdown as the search for the suspect and missing couple continues. We believe he's still on the property, like we just heard before. There are quite a few residents. There are quite a few residents, so we are expanding our search to include the entire park. Now, here's the thing, guys. Obviously, as you guys can see, this is not a situation where these two just up and disappeared on their own. And we've talked about this many times before, when we talk about, everything from Sebastian Rogers to, any of these other cases that we have covered. People just don't up and vanish out of nowhere. You just don't do that, okay? Especially when you have someone or two people that are not super able-bodied. If you got somebody who's having issues physically or mentally, okay, because dementia can be physically debilitating as well, okay? That's some serious stuff. You don't just up and disappear, okay? It just doesn't make any sense. Now, we got a few videos we're going to look at. And like I said, there's a press conference, hopefully that's going to be happening here in the next, within the next 30 minutes or so, talking about the raid, talking about this arrest and what are the connections here. So we're going to try to break down as much as we can, as quickly as we can, so we can get a better idea of what the hell's going on. I think this is the first video. First clip.
A swarm of police are searching.
This is it. Let's take a look at this.
Alvin, a swarm of police are searching a Redlands nudist.
Nope, that is not it. Sorry. Backwards today. I think. Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me make sure. Because I got a bunch of videos here and I just want to make sure I got the right one at the, chronologically correct here. There we go. And then this one too. Good. I got it. Okay. Sorry about that, guys. Let's take a look at this one. We got a couple of videos. Again, if you are a creature of habit or you can't hear it, damn, I'm so sorry, guys. I was busy trying to get something up here. All right.
The
sorry
search
about
is
that.
on tonight for
Okay, like I was trying to say earlier, I think it's really important to remember that, they are both creatures of habit. They have a routine, right? Every Sunday is, the day that they go out to church and maybe they do a little brunch or whatever that may be, but they're going and they're spending their time with friends and loved ones and all that. And I think that, sometimes being a creature of habit can backfire in a way. You look at something like Rachel Morin's case, right? She is a creature of, running a specific route on a park and all that. I don't know, when with the Rachel Morin case, don't know if she was actually lurked, and followed for a while, for days before that monster actually pounced. But there are a lot of those kinds of cases where somebody runs the same route. Somebody goes to the same area, over and over and over again, to the point where someone else who's watching in the background in the nosebleed seats, they're catching what that pattern. And then they use that to take them down, to get them, right? But in this particular situation, it's very helpful that they actually were creatures of habit, because if they weren't creatures of habit, this may have been going on for more than just a few days, more than just a day or two, before they were actually reported missing. So thank God that they actually, thank God, because of church and all that. But thank God, right? They actually are a creature of habit, because without them going to church, without them, with them missing going to church, they were able to make this report. Okay. And of course, now it has resulted to the neighbor's home getting raided. Okay. Which is also very interesting as well. Let's continue though. Let's continue. Suddenly, they go into the house. Purse is still there. Their money is still there. All that stuff. That makes no sense, right?
The Menards have lived and diabetes. Friends say Stephanie has multiple sclerosis and that she doesn't go anywhere without her cane, which is at their home.
She also has MS, multiple sclerosis. That says a lot too. See, like I said, she's not going to just up and walk out, right? Without her cane, without her medication. Same thing with Dan. Dan's not going to just get up and walk out into these wilderness streets without his stuff. It just doesn't make sense. So yes, it is crucial, right? This was probably crucial time for them to find these two, because they're not going to, I hate to say that, but they're not going to survive out there in the wild without their medication, without the things that they need. There's no way.
Right, the vulnerable couple and their dog.
I want to mention again, they're in their 70s, y'all. They're in their 70s. One with MS, one with dementia. I mean, that's some serious because I can't believe that. I mean, I can't believe that anything of this like this is actually happening. Just to be completely honest, because all of these stories of people, of these innocent lives being taken or these innocent lives getting lost and all that stuff. It's just it's aggravating because you think of your own grandparents, right? Shoot. Some of y'all may be thinking of yourselves, right? With all due respect, just saying, man, what could have happened here? Now, I know that there's been a lot of conversation about a slew of lawsuits, or there's been a lot of tension between the actual camp or the resort. I hear so many different things. I hear a camp and I hear resort, but I hear there's a lot of tension between the camp and them and the couple. But like I said, there's many people apparently very upset with the actual camp, but we don't know if that's actually true. Like if that has anything to do with their disappearance, right? But let me continue on. We got one more video.
Frantic friends fear time is of the essence to find the missing couple, Daniel and Stephanie Menard, along with their dog. Redlands police say...
You hear, he even says Maynard. Okay, Maynard. I've heard Menard. I like Menard. I don't know. Menade. I think it's Menard, but everyone's pronouncing it so different. It's crazy.
They were last seen at their home Saturday morning. Daniel has dementia and is diabetic. Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter with the details.
Concern continuing to grow for the elderly couple and their treasured pup. They haven't been seen since Saturday. And with each passing day, neighbors and friends say they are growing more and more concerned about their safety.
That they're going to come back. My gut feeling is that they're not.
For friends and neighbors, the fear continues to grow after Dan and Stephanie Menard and their beloved dog Cuddles simply vanished.
Each day just gets longer and longer, and get more and more worried. There's just nothing. There's just not even anything to go off of right now.
Yeah. And I know, it's understandable that people, the first lady, by the way, she is wearing a top. It's not like she's naked, just getting interviewed by the news. She's just wearing like a low, kind of like a halter type or tube top type thing, I think. But anyway, it's sad that people will instantly think, bang, they're already gone, right? But in ways that this has happened, in the ways that this has gone down, this is very interesting, right? It does lead you down the path of, I don't think this is going to be coming back. I don't think we're going to be coming back with great news, right? Like this is going to be a happy ending that they're found and that they're safe. I don't think so. We have a man, like I said, arrested in the unaliving, the M of these two. So I am quite curious as to what did the police find during this whole thing, right? What did they find? One, that confirms that they are gone, that they have crossed on. And two, that this man that they just barreled through his home, that he's the one who did this. That's the one thing I'm kind of curious about, because I know some of you guys, I'm reading the chat, and some of y'all in the chat are going, or I'm reading the chat is over here. And a lot of y'all are sitting here going like, why did they have to barrel through the man's house? Why did they have to go through the man's house, bruh? Why did that go down? Right? I don't know. I've never seen that act done before, unless it is a situation where there's a hostage situation going on. I have never seen it where they just barrel through a house just for ish and giggles. That's something new for me. Well, we're going to look at the footage here in just a little bit, okay? Because it is interesting. All right. Nonetheless, we're going to be looking at that like as soon as we get done with this clip. So let's get this going. All right.
It's very concerning because this is just not normal for them at all.
The elderly couple was last seen leaving their home at the Olive Dell Nudist Ranch in Redlands on Saturday. Their vehicle found abandoned just down the road.
There's no way that Stephanie or Dan could have walked away from that car. She has a cane. It was at home. Her purse, their cell phones, things they would have never left, at home.
Investigators say Dan, who is 79 years old, is diabetic and suffers from dementia. 73-year-old Stephanie needs a cane. Friends say the couple, who was part of a possible lawsuit against the ranch, was being harassed and feared that may have had something to do with their sudden disappearance.
Bang. You heard that, right? You heard that, right? Okay. So very, very interesting, right? That there's some tension going on. Let me roll that back.
Phones, things they would weigh.
Elderly couple was last seen leaving their home at the Olive Dell Nudist Ranch in Redlands on Saturday.
Turn this
their
up.
vehicle found abandoned just down the road.
Which we already know.
There's no way that Stephanie or Dan could have walked away from that car. She has a cane. It was at home. Her purse, their cell phones, things they would have never left, at home.
Okay. Very interesting, which we already discussed. But here's the part that I found to be interesting.
Investigators say Dan, who is 79 years old, is diabetic and suffers from dementia. 73-year-old Stephanie needs a cane. Friends say the couple, who was part of a possible lawsuit against the ranch, was being harassed and feared that may have had something to do with their sudden disappearance.
Right? So they're in a lawsuit with the actual ranch, with the Dell Ranch. I forgot the name of it. I have it written down. Dagnabbit. Dell something ranch, right? Dell, the Olive Dell Ranch, okay? RV park, okay? So, all right. So they're having some sort of legal dispute, okay? They're having some sort of legal dispute going on with them, the Olive Dell Ranch. And then suddenly now, they're gone. It seems a bit weird, but I will say this too. From my understanding, this is not the only family or the only other couple that has gone after this particular resort. So I think that's very interesting.
The couple is very active in their church and the Olive Dell community. Dan, Stephanie, and Cuddles always together.
They're very sweet people. There's not a mean bone in their body at all, which makes this very confusing.
Friends say they are worried something sinister may have happened.
I mean, that's pretty much where it's going down. How it's all kind of unfolding, right?
Fear of them not coming back. And if they do find them, how?
If you have any information on the missing couple.
Okay. And we already know because we're already at this other place in this timeline, right? We're in a different area of this timeline, which is still very, very disturbing and very, very sad. Okay. But we're going to continue on though. All right. Because there's more. And so I'm going to share with you guys a little bit of this right here. Okay. Let's take a look at this.
To the Redlands, where there is a large police presence near the home of an elderly couple who went missing over the weekend.
Gil Davis is above in Sky 5 with the details. Gil?
Well, Glenn and Lou, the Redlands SWAT team has made their move here on this house. This is in that Kiesel community here. It's actually the Olive Dell Ranch community. You can see the battering ram connected to that SWAT vehicle is pushed into the front windows of this home here. It's a partially dirt road, partially paved road that's up a ways from the major streets here, but you can see the SWAT team here working with that battering ram to go in through that front window. It's unclear if there's anybody in the property right now. That we haven't heard anything about that, but they are.
Now, hold on one second. There is something I'm very curious about. Okay. If this is just a investigation, that I get raiding a home. But why come out with the tanks and the battering, like with the battering apparatus and do all this stuff? Why bang out the whole side of a doggone home to get this suspect? That's one thing I'm kind of curious about. Why? Was there any other threats of was there somebody else in that home that was being held against their will? I mean, like I said, there's a lot of things that I'm kind of curious about that haven't really been answered, and I'm wondering why that actually happened. But hold on, before we get into that, before we continue on, let me just say this really quick, okay? So, man arrested 4M after SWAT storms this ranch looking for Redlands missing couple, okay? So, a man has been arrested in connection, let me blow this up a little bit, in connection to the disappearance of a missing Redlands couple after a SWAT team moved into a nudist ranch and ripped apart his home as part of their search for them. Like I said, why go through that? Why use a battering ram? Why use that? You got two elderly people. If they already knew the stuff, if they already knew that these two were gone, or that they found the bodies, right, and that they knew there was no way that they were inside that home, that's one thing. But if they don't know that they were in there or not, why destroy the entire half of the house just to get this dude who happens to be holed up inside the actual property? It just doesn't make sense. It just doesn't make any sense. We're going to continue. We're going to look at the battering ram part here in just a second, but that's so weird, all right? So the person who actually is arrested, his name is Michael Royce Sparks. He is 62 years old. He was arrested overnight, okay, for the M of these two, all right? Police said foul play was suspected in the disappearance of the Menards, okay? So Sparks was booked at the West Valley Detention Center in Rancho Cucamonga. Additional details about their disappearance or the suspect's connection to them were not immediately available. Police used an armed vehicle with a hydraulic battering ram to tear down the home on Kiesel Road, where Sparks lives, before the arrest was announced. The entire ranch was locked down during the extensive search and late into the night, preventing some neighbors from going back home. So law enforcement also used a helicopter and canines to search for the missing couple. And maybe the dog? Because what about the dog? What about the little puppy pup, right? What about Cuddles, right? Moving on. Late Thursday evening, law enforcement fired some type of agent into the home. Investigators also deployed drones to get a closer look inside the man's property. Before his arrest, Sparks was described by authorities as a person of interest. One neighbor described the person of interest as a soft-spoken gentleman, like we already heard. Probably the last person you would ever think would do something like this, said a neighbor. Investigators returned to the area Thursday to follow up on a tip that led them to Sparks, who lives right next door to the Menards. Next door to the Menards. Okay? Next door to the Menards. Very interesting, right? At one point during the standoff, the armored vehicle got stuck in a hole that formed in the ground and had to be pulled out. A deputy was inside the vehicle, but he appeared to be uninjured when he was rescued. Great. So what actually happened here, right? What happened to Stephanie and Daniel? That's one thing we do not know, okay? We still have not gotten an answer about. But here, hold on. Let me just make sure there isn't some sort of live feed going on right now about this whole situation, because like I said, they have not said much about why this happened, how this happened, all that stuff. And that's the one thing that's, I think, very frustrating about this whole situation, right? That they got a suspect arrested. Why was this person why did they run through his home like that, right? That's one thing that doesn't make any sense to me. Okay? That's one thing that makes no earthly sense to me at all. Okay? So that's, I guess I'm just trying to get that to make sense for me as well. So if you guys know, if you guys see the broadcast or the live press conference anywhere, please let me know. But right now, I don't see anything a broadcast about it yet so far. Okay. But this is very interesting. So let's go and continue. Okay. So the Menards were last seen Saturday morning, leaving their home at the Olive Del Ranch. Okay. A friend reported them missing the next day because they didn't show up to go to church. Right. They showed up in the place. They saw that there was a purse left behind, her cane was left behind, all that stuff. The car is found on the side of the road down a little bit from the home with keys in the ignition, all that stuff, right? Yes, I know. Thank you, Melly. I know that the press conference is at 10 my time, but right now have yet to see anything. So hopefully it'll start here soon. And when it does, we will look at that very, very soon. All right. So of course, their vehicle was found unlocked. Okay. Down the road. Her purse was found inside the home. Their cell phones were there. Okay. Even their small dog, Cuddles, is missing. Okay. There's no way that Stephanie or Dan would have walked away from that car because there's no way. She has a cane. She's battling MS. At least with her, there'd be no way for her to successfully walk that far, okay? There's no way she could successfully walk that far, okay, without her cane. Her cane was at home. Her purse, their cell phones, things they would never have left at home. You know, for a fact, when you see a cell phone back, left, okay? When you see a phone that's left behind like that, to me, that's foul play instantly. Okay. Everybody's attached to their phones. Okay. Unless you have somebody who has dementia, right? And may be forgetful on that, right? So that's very interesting, right? So let's move on. So the press conference is allegedly supposed to be happening within the next few minutes. When that actually does happen, trust me, we will be watching that live. Okay. Friends say the couple, who was part of a possible lawsuit against the ranch, was being harassed and fear that that may have something to do with their sudden disappearance. The couple is very active in their church, which we already know about that. And they're a very sweet couple. All right. There's not one mean bone in their bodies at all, which makes this very confusing, said one of the neighbors and I'm sure friends of this couple. But while I look at a few more things, I want to show you guys, like I said, the raid that happened yesterday. This is just a sky view of this actual raid. Let's take a look.
They're definitely using that breaching tool there to at least get access to see that front of that property. I'll come out a little wider to show you that property. It's up the hill on the this would be the northeastern side of the community here, and there's a big police presence here down the hill where the command post is. But just in the last few minutes, they moved this battering ram.
Okay, guys, there is the press conference. It is happening right now, so let me grab that really quick. Okay, because I'm using another computer to do this. So just give me a second, guys. And we will start it from the beginning. Don't worry. We're maybe 2-3 minutes behind. 1 second, guys. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Please do me a favor. Do not forget, hit that like button down below, all that good stuff. Okay. Hit that like button down below. Come on. Hit that subscribe, etc., etc. Let's go.
Redlands Police Department here. Let's go ahead and listen in. We'll let you watch this news conference here.
Okay. Good morning. Last night, or yesterday afternoon, Redlands Police conducted a search of a residence here at the Olive Del Resort for a person of interest involved in the disappearance of Dan and Stephanie Menard. Last night at about 9:30, we located that subject and he was arrested. He's been charged with murder in the couple's death. The suspect is Michael Royce Sparks, 62 years old, and he was a neighbor of Dan and Stephanie's. This morning, Redlands police are back out on scene. Last night, there was significant damage that was done to the suspect's residence when we broke in to search it, and we had to secure the scene overnight to make sure that it was safe for personnel to enter. So this morning, we're waiting for that to be shored up so that we can begin a search. We have cadaver dogs that will be here from the San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department. We'll be using those to try to locate the victims, Dan and Stephanie. We are confident that they are deceased and that they are still here on the property. And I'm available to take any questions.
Has he given you any information on where to?
I can't but we are on site.
Has he been cooperative?
Let me say that he surrendered voluntarily. I won't.
Let me roll this back.
But he did surrender here on site.
Information on where to?
That they are deceased, and San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department, and we will be using those to try to locate the victims, Dan and Stephanie. We are confident that they are deceased and that they are still here on the property. And I'm available to take any questions.
Has he given you any information on where to locate the bodies?
I can't speak to anything that he said, but we are confident that the bodies are here on site.
Wow.
Let me say that he surrendered voluntarily. I won't say he's been cooperative, but he did surrender voluntarily last night after lengthy negotiations.
Any more details on the relationship between the couple and the neighbor?
I can only say that he's their neighbor. I'm not going to speak to what their relationship was.
When you say you're confident the bodies are on the property, do you mean inside this home as well? His home.
We believe the bodies are on the site of his home. Yes.
And how did you find him? I know you were looking for him last night, but ultimately led you to him.
Yesterday morning, Redlands police were on site simply conducting further investigation, searching the area, knocking on the doors of neighbors. While we were here on site, we received information from a source that a person who was involved in their disappearance was here on the property. At that point, we locked down the property and we began the investigation and the attempt to locate and contact him. We did ultimately go to his home. We tried several attempts to contact him with no contact whatsoever. And eventually we did bring in equipment from the Riverside Sheriff's Office called a TAC CAT that we used to breach the home, make entrance, and then used remote video to search the area. Last night at about 9:30, we did locate him, and after some negotiation with him, he did surrender voluntarily.
Was he here?
Was he?
Any idea of his own motive? Why would he do this?
I'm not going to speak to motive. He was here in his home.
He was in the home.
Yes. He was under the home. Let me clarify that. He was under the home.
Under the home.
Someone who is a neighbor told us that he has some sort of tunnel underneath his home, and yesterday when SWAT responded, I saw their truck kind of fell inside. Are you able to confirm that it appears like there may be a tunnel or some sort of room he had?
I can't comment on that other than to say that he was under the home when he was located.
Friends of the couple say they were involved in some sort of lawsuit against the ranch. Do you know anything about that? Can you talk about that?
I don't have any information on that.
Does the suspect have a prior record?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Was the ranch on lockdown? I noticed a lot of cars coming through this morning. So were they able to return to their homes?
The residents that aren't in the immediate area of the suspect and the victim's home were still on site while we were doing the search last night, and they've been able to remain on site. The area immediately surrounding his home was evacuated, but those residents are back now.
And just to clarify, were all three of them members of the resort? Did they live within the premises of the resort?
The victims of the suspect? Yes, they were all residents here.
All residents of the resort?
Yes.
And do we know how long they have been staying here? They look like permanent residents?
I don't know. I don't know how long they've been here. I believe it's been some time.
What happens now in the investigation?
Currently, we are trying to locate the victims. At that point, then we'll move on from there. But right now, our concentration is on first making the structure safe so that we can enter it, and then using the cadaver dogs and our search team to locate the victims.
Have relatives, family members, close family members been in touch with you throughout this week of searching while their loved ones have been missing?
As part of the investigation, I know that detectives did speak with family members of the couple.
Are they local?
I don't know that.
Is there a reason you believe they're deceased? Is it because they've been missing for so long, or is there something specific that they are?
We have information to make us believe that they're deceased.
And is that the dog as well? Like, was the dog recovered?
We don't have any word on Cuddles, the dog.
So yesterday when you went in with the heavy equipment and were kind of tearing down and going in, you didn't know that he was beneath the home at the time. Can you talk a little bit? I know you were concerned about the safety of the officers. Was there a fear that he was kind of lying there somewhere and wait for those officers?
We believed that he was in the home, and as a precaution, we used the equipment to make the entry and search the home.
And you believe the murder took place here on the property?
I don't have any information on where the murder occurred, but we do believe that the bodies are here on the property.
So backtrack just a little bit. How was it exactly when he voluntarily surrendered? What was he inside his property? Was he under a tunnel under the property? Can you just walk us through that a little bit more?
Right?
He was underneath the home on his property, and we located him during the search and negotiated with him to exit.
Was he in the process of doing something in particular while he was under his property?
I don't know.
Was it more of a crawl space type thing, or just whether the tunnel?
I'm not going to comment on exactly what it is.
To be clear, you don't know where the bodies are. You're going to be conducting a search today to figure that out.
We are conducting a search using cadaver dogs and search teams. We believe the bodies are on his property, but we haven't confirmed that.
Has he led you to believe that? Has he
From authorities on a story that just kept getting more bizarre as the
Why are you doing that?
now it appears to have taken a tragic turn. Just giving an update in the case of this missing Inland Empire couple arresting a
Oh my
neighbor
God.
for the murder of the couple. Authorities believe the bodies are somewhere on the property, they say, and the suspect was arrested. Some negotiation involved there. Apparently they found him underneath his own property, but arrested without incident.
They're still looking for the bodies, which leads to many more questions. That suspect's home was, well, it looked like demolished, right? Once police arrived, and the suspect did surrender and confessed, and this is why they're calling it a murder.
Right.
So many questions still, obviously. And their car was found, if you may recall.
Their car was found.
Come on.
Missing for about a week, which raised initial big-time suspicions.
With their belongings in the home.
Right.
Cell phone, keys, wallet, that sort of thing. All right.
We'll be right back.
But that was still, they were still in the middle of, come on, that's trash. They were still in the middle of talking. Good God. Hold on. I'm gonna see if there's more, because that's some BS. We're just gonna cut out. They're just in the middle of telling us some really important ish, but no big deal. We're just gonna. We got to pay, we got to pay for our thing. I'm checking to see if there's another channel, because that was BS. That was some BS. Okay. Yeah, let's just cut them out. Let me see. No, maybe. No, a lot of them cut short. That's so odd. That is so odd. I don't know why they cut it so short. That doesn't make any bloody sense. They all did that. They all did that. So that doesn't make any sense. Huh. Interesting. Well, let me get my notes because I wrote some notes down. Okay. So we could do a little quick, kind of a recap so we understand a little bit. But that's trash that he was in the middle of talking and then they just shut it down. Okay. Now let me just say this. So here's the thing. Tina, I don't know who Tina is, Hoblone, but if you guys can explain to me who Tina is, I'm assuming that Tina is maybe the property manager or somebody connected to the actual property itself. But if you guys know a little bit more about that, please let me know. Like I said, I'm still very, this case is still fairly new to me. Okay. So just let me know, holla at your boy. Now, the thing is okay, let's talk about the information that we know of about these two. Okay. So they're saying, or actually about the monster. And we're going to talk about more of this here in a second. Okay. Because I do have some things to say about this, which I think is absolute trash. I'm very dissatisfied. Okay. I'm very unsatisfied right now. And you might be wondering, why are you unsatisfied, baby? Well, because not only did they cut the feed or they cut the press conference short, but I'm also wondering why did they raid the home in the way that they raided the home? You heard from law enforcement. He actually said, yeah, there's a few things we got to do to make sure that the place is secure before you can even go inside the house. Why do you think you have to make sure that the house is secure before you go in that mug? Think about that for a second. Why do you have to make sure the place is on point and that is still not so riggedy before you go in there? I wonder, is it because you freaking demolished half of the house? Think about that for a second. Why demolish the whole freaking house like that? Why destroy it? It's the whole shoot first, ask questions later. Let's just demolish this thing. And then now, damn it, now we got to find them in this rubble. Where could they be? And it's all under all this mess. What do we do? That's ridiculous, guys. That's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you do that? If it's just one man inside that home. I mean, of course, they say that their bodies are allegedly inside the home, which I find to be very interesting as well, which we are going to talk about a little bit more here in just a little bit. But again, make it make sense. Make it make sense. Why would they do something like that? And then now they're going, damn it, now we got to dig through all this rubble. Also, somebody else said this in the chat too. I forgot who it was, but shout out to whoever did say this. Appreciate it, because it is a good point. You destroyed the crime scene, a potential crime scene, by destroying everything. You didn't just bust down a door. You busted down a whole side of a doggone house. When you say you believe, you're confident in saying that these two are gone and that their deceased remains are inside this actual home. Make that make sense. Okay. So they said they're bringing out cadaver dogs. As soon as I heard that, I was like, damn. Because of course, that means they're somewhere in the premises of this actual property. So they're bringing out cadaver dogs. And of course, I'm like, damn, okay, so that's confirmed that these two are gone, which, by the way, may they rest in peace and may they get the justice that they rightfully deserve. And I hope it's swift and I hope it's hard. Okay? That sounded weird. But you know what I mean? All right? So they're using cadaver dogs. They are confident that they are deceased. Because I'm assuming, just like the reporter said in the video, or right after they cut the damn feed, in mid-sentence, by the way. All right? But they did say that they have the man. He was under the house. So he was holed up under the house. Okay? And they say they believe that he confessed. They said at first, he left. He came out without incident. Well, aside from demolishing a potential crime scene, but he came out without any issues, without any problems. He was arrested. They're saying that when he got arrested, he finally was confessing about that situation. All right, about this. So it's safe to say that he confessed, saying yes, indeed, that he took their lives. Now the question is, somebody just talked about Tina. They actually talked about the property, right? The actual company that owns the property, and the fact that there is some sort of legal dispute that's been going on, not only with this couple, but a bunch of other people as well with the property. They're saying that they don't know of any connection with the unaliving of these two and the property. That's interesting. But I also have to say, it's very interesting to me that the people of the property haven't even spoken out. They haven't made any type of statement. They haven't said anything of that sort, like, oh, we are looking for these two. We hope that they're found soon, so on and so forth. Regardless of how whatever tension and drama is going on, legal drama that's going on between these two and the actual property. I think that's very interesting as well. I am kind of curious as to what the reason is for the lawsuit, right? Now, I understand from what I gathered is that there was somebody else, another company owned the property. A new company came in, took over the company, or took over the property. And I guess there's new policies and new things that they're doing with the property that did not make couples like the Menards very happy about it. Maybe cutting corners, maybe it's a money thing, maybe there's some budget cuts, so on and so forth. Or maybe they're asking for more money for certain things that they think is just absolutely frivolous and stupid, wasteful, so on and so forth. Don't know. But it doesn't make any sense that they would disappear when there's already been such tension with the powers that be of that actual camp resort property. I think that's weird. Now, if the Tina person is involved in that, I think that's very interesting as well. And have we heard anything from Tina? Right? Haven't heard anything. Free Country again just said Tina has apparently been sued many times over the years. Very interesting as well. Okay. Very interesting, right? So could that be a situation where this Tina person could there be an involvement? Could there be a connection between the property and, the lawsuit and these people? I don't know. That's still something I don't know. I also heard something about Elder A as well, which is also very interesting as well. But like I said, that's something that I still don't know fully. Okay. And then it is what it is said, allegedly Tina spoke with a YouTuber. I wonder what YouTuber that is. Because that's new. That's new for me too. Right. But like I said, that's just so strange. It's so odd, so strange. It just doesn't make any sense, this whole thing. But then, like I said, I still want to show you guys still this, because it just doesn't make any sense to me at all. Let's take a look at this raid. Okay. I'm gonna move it up a little bit because I want you guys to see. Hopefully they show a little bit more of the damage in this video. Hold on. Let me see if I can get something else. Let me show you guys a little bit more clips here. All right. So hold on. This is from yesterday. Look at that. Look at that. Oh, wait. Whoops. Sorry. Wrong thing. That's what I was trying to show you. Let me show you guys that again. But that's weird, right?
Overnight, the search intensifying for a missing Southern California couple last seen at their home on a nudist ranch. Authorities swarming that community near San Bernardino, using this armored vehicle to tear open the home of their neighbor, who police say is a person of interest, entering that residence with guns drawn.
We don't know where the
So let me pull this back so you guys can see this. Look at that. Look at it. Ain't that insane? That's and that's not even, they're not even done yet. Okay? But they destroy this suspect's house. Okay? Destroyed. All right? Which I think is it's weird. That's so weird, guys. Why destroy half of the doggone house? Why? If this could potentially be a crime scene. If their bodies could still be inside that home, as what they're predicting right now, what they're speculating right now, why would they just go and destroy the whole freaking house? It just doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
Police say is a person of interest, entering that residence with guns drawn.
we don't know where the subject is. He may still be inside, or he may be somewhere else on the grounds.
73-year-old Stephanie Menard and her 73-year-old husband Dan, along with their dog Cuddles, were last seen Saturday. Their vehicle was found unlocked down the road from their home the following day.
There's no way that Stephanie or Dan could have walked away from that car. She has a cane.
Which we already know about that. But I want you guys to see this. Look, I mean, geez, man. Just this alone, right?
Police say they suspect foul play after getting a tip that one of the neighbors may be involved.
We received a phone call with information that a subject who was involved in their disappearance was on site, on scene. At that point, we locked down the property and began investigation.
Look at that. Now, I don't know if this man was a hoarder or something of that sort, but look at that. You know what I mean? They went in. Okay? They went in. And yes, Miss Lily, or Miss Lilick, yes, he was found under the house. I don't know if it was a bunker so much. I haven't heard anything about a bunker. They just say that he was found under the house. Now, he could have had a bunker. That's a possibility. But he could have just made a hole to hide in, you know? Because they even said that the tank went into the house and then it fell into kind of like a ditch in a way. It caved in. The floor caved in. So he may have been working on something underneath, like some sort of bunker for sure. You know what I mean? Or maybe even a tunnel, Philip. Maybe even a tunnel to hide out or to escape, right? Here's the other thing too. Could there be a possibility of other victims? If their remains are inside that home, could there be other people? Why would a guy like this want to have a tunnel? Why would he have a tunnel? A 62-year-old man, why would this 62-year-old man have a tunnel? What was he preparing for? Yeah, I mean, he could be a doomsday prepper, maybe. Okay. But then it also makes you wonder, why would he do something like this? Take these two people's lives. Was it a situation where he just couldn't take the yappy dog? You know what I mean? Because Shih Tzus are pretty yappy. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. All right, with all due respect. Okay, they might be lovely and small and cuddly. Okay, but at the same time, maybe there was some issues with the dog, right? Maybe there's some run-ins, neighbor drama, right? Can't stand the guy because of this, and this, right? Whatever it may be. And then one day he just snaps. That could possibly be it too. There's also the possibility of him getting paid to do this as well. You know, maybe getting some certain amount of money off of his off of his property dues or any type of bills and whatnot off of his property. Maybe that's what one of the situations as well. But you got to also remember this is in a nudist resort, like a campgrounds. So what is it that would make him do what he did? Why did this happen? Right? Yep. Am I right or am I right? Okay. Okay. Now you see what I'm saying? So they be yappy, yo. Okay. So I can see him basically saying, hey, well, your dog just shut up. You know what I mean? I don't know. You know what I mean? Miss Lilac, thank you so much. And thank you for answering. You are awesome. Bless you. No, thank you so much. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Bonita, thank you so much for being a member for the past 8 months. Good morning, Pascal and Mods chat. Happy Friday, everyone. Yes. Thank you, Jesus. It's Friday. Thank you. It's Friday. Okay, Melly Mel, thank you so much for gifting 1 membership. Whoever just got that membership, thank you, Melly. All I ask is for you guys to go and pay it forward, okay? Do something positive with that, all right? If that even is something positive for yourself, okay, just go and do it, all right? As long as it turns into something positive for everyone else out there in the world that surrounds your life, okay? Even in this chat, all right? We are here for the conversations, none of the drama and all that stuff, okay? We are here for better than that, all right? Vicky, thank you so much. Tina Kofelt was property manager. Michael Sparks, I think they said, was owner of property. If that's true, then this is very interesting information. But like I said, why would this person go and do this in this way, right? Why would Michael Royce Sparks go and do this if he is the owner of the property? But like I said, don't know if that's entirely accurate or not, right? And in fact, we're going to look, and I'm going to take a look and see if there's anything that kind of confirms that. But from my understanding, I haven't heard anything like that. I mean, I heard about Tina being the property manager, but I haven't heard anything else. The other thing too is it's a property, right? It's a big old property. So I'm wondering if there's any surveillance footage or anything of that sort showing him, you know, inviting them over for a drink or whatever it may be, right? On Saturday. Because something happened between Saturday afternoon and Sunday when they were reported missing. Something happened that Saturday. What was it that happened, right? And that's one thing I think that we're all trying to figure out here too. Let's take a look at this. I'm going to play a little bit of this, okay? This is from another press conference. This is when the raid was going down.
That a subject who was involved in the couple's disappearance was in the park. So we immediately locked down the area and began an investigation to try to locate him and contact him. Currently, we have made entrance into his residence and are searching that using remote equipment.
Can you identify him? Do we know his age?
I don't have his name or age for you right now.
What about his relationship to the Menards?
He's their neighbor.
And he's your direct neighbor?
Right next door to the Menards, yes.
Okay, and kind of walk us through just what happened this morning, what time this all happened, and whether it's something calling in from the resort or...
Yeah, I don't have exact times. Redlands police were on scene this morning doing follow-up, conducting a follow-up search of the area, knocking on doors to contact residents. And we received a phone call from somebody with information who said that they knew who the subject was who was involved in the disappearance of Dan and Stephanie Menard. At that point, we locked down the area and we began an investigation door to door to try to contact him, find him and contact him. We are currently at his residence. We've breached the residence and are conducting a remote search. I believe that he lives alone.
And why do you believe this is a possibly foul play?
Well, the information as far as the possibly foul play is that we received information from somebody who said that he was involved in the disappearance of the Menards.
And what was it that police believe that this was a kind of routine, that this was a focus?
I can't speak to that. It's part of our investigation. As far as whether he's armed, we don't know.
And the couple has been missing now for several days. Do you know their condition or
We don't know their location or their condition. We have had no contact with them. We've not located them. As you say, they've been missing. The last time they were seen was Saturday.
was there any kind of cadaver dogs or any kind of things like that to possibly do a search for bodies?
We've had canine search. We've had canines search the premises, including cadaver dogs.
Did witnesses say anything about the interaction between this guy and the Menards
I-
prior to this?
I can't comment on their interaction. I don't have any information about any kind of gunfire or flight. You mean recently? Like in the last? What they probably heard was the battering ram reaching the residence. Other than the initial search on Sunday, I'm not aware of a search of their home. I only heard part of your question.
The surveillance video that you guys have, can that corroborate this person that you guys are looking for right now?
What surveillance video are you referring to?
That you guys have surveillance video and you narrowed it down to a 4-hour window. That's what we were told by management.
I can't confirm that.
Carl, I also got the cadaver dog brought in. Was anything found?
No. No.
So what's the latest as far as the search for the missing couple and what has been found? Is the latest detail that they were nearby?
The latest details that we have are that they were last seen alive on Saturday. They were reported missing on Sunday. Their car was found just down the street from their residence. We've had no information about their location since then, except that we have learned that a subject who was possibly involved in their disappearance is here on the site. The fact that they've been missing for several days, that we have information that there's a subject that was involved in their disappearance, is reason enough to investigate the possibility of foul play.
Do you guys believe that the Menards are still alive?
We don't know.
And why did they ram the home if they're unsure the suspect is inside or the couple?
I'm sorry, why did we breach the home? We obtained a search warrant to try to locate and contact the suspect. That's his home. So he was not responding to our efforts to have him come out. So, we don't know. There's a possibility he's inside. There's a possibility he's somewhere else on the property. They do. I don't know where their family lives. I know that the detectives have talked to family members since they were reported missing. The Olivedale Ranch is actually located in the city of Redlands. It's in an area that you have to go through Riverside County and the city of Colton to get to it. I'm not sure why it's identified as the city of Colton, but it's in the city of Redlands and it's Redlands police jurisdiction. I don't know if you're in the city of Redlands right now. I think this is Riverside County, but up the street is Redlands. Yeah.
Anything about their dog? Have you guys found them? Any indication that
No, we haven't located the couple or their dog, and we have no information about where they may be or what their condition is.
Their vehicle was found about a half mile down the road. Do you know why that is? Do you think they drove down that way and got in the vehicle?
I don't have that information right now. Okay.
Now here's the thing. This is from the other day. This is from yesterday while the raid was going on. Okay. We already just saw today's press conference. And in that press conference, like I said, they said a lot of very interesting, well, they said a lot of very revealing things. One, they said for sure that this couple, okay, the Menards, let me just pull that up, that the Menards, Dan and Stephanie Menard, are both, they suspect, have perished. And they lost their lives at the hands of the man by the name of Michael Sparks. Now, the thing is again, this is just very interesting. Again, I'm still trying to, I'm still trying to get as much information as I can. And that's the other thing too. Police have not given out a whole lot of information about Michael and his connections to the actual resort or anything of that sort. Now, I understand that some people out here are saying that there's a connection, that Tina, the property manager, was, involved with the man who actually took the lives of these two, of this couple. Honestly, I need to hear it. I need to see that in paperwork and see the Carfax on that. Personally, I just need to see the facts on that, because I'm sure people are looking those things up and getting that information. I have yet to see it myself, so I want to get my eyes on it too, right? So that we can look at that and go, wow, there's a connection here. You know what I mean? Maybe there's a reason why. Maybe she ordered him, asked him to do this unthinkable thing. There's a possibility of that. I don't know. In fact, I'm waiting to see a mugshot. I'm actually looking around trying to find a mugshot of this guy, right? Of Michael Royce Sparks, right? Because he has been detained. What does this guy look like, right? So I'm trying to see here now too, again, just to see. And honestly, they just say man's been arrested. Neighbor has been arrested, but I have yet to see a photo of him. And I'm going, where the hell is the dude? Okay. Where the hell's the dude? Fabulous Fab, thank you so much for being a member for the past 13 months. I appreciate it. Ikid Mel had a live phone call with the other next door neighbor. That's what's up. That is what's up. That's news to me, right? Now, if that information is said in that phone call, then that's very interesting too, right? Of course, I'd want to take a listen to that and all that stuff before jumping all the way into it and putting out stuff that, because you never know, that person who called could be faking, could be fake news, right? With all due respect, just saying, it could be absolute fake news. Now, again, like I said, still don't know everything about this, and I'm still trying to find out and still trying to understand why this whole thing went down in the first place, right? But I would love to see a mugshot of this guy, but they haven't put that out yet, which I think is really annoying as well. You'd think that they would be fast to put out his mugshot. They're fast to put out everybody else's mugshot. So why aren't they showing this dude's mother-loving mugshot? The other thing too is, why did they cut out the most recent press conference? Why did they cut that out? He was still talking. People were still asking questions. Reporters were still asking questions. So why cut that out? Like I said, it just doesn't make any sense. Okay. Gigi, thank you so much. Okay, so their parents had the place before the new people came. Interesting. Yeah, that's what I understand too. That's what I gathered as well, that there was other management, there was other, like another company owned the place, right? Owned the property, and then it got switched out. Like a company or another entity bought out that other company, and then they came in. And then, of course, things that were going on the resort changed. Certain procedures that used to be standard weren't being implemented, so on and so forth. That's from what I'm gathering and from what I've understood, that they are feeling some type of way. The people of the actual resort or the camp are feeling some type of way because they're not getting what they used to get from the at that property. So then next thing you know, you got lawsuits coming out the woodwork from many people. It wasn't just the Menards. There was many other people that were suing them, suing the property manager, suing the property, right? So this is an ongoing thing that's been going on for a while, but I don't understand why. I still just don't understand why the Menards were targeted of all things. If this has anything to do with something even more sinister, right? With the property. I just don't understand why these two lost their lives, unless they were the main leaders, spearheading, trying to make this thing happen, right? So it's interesting. But again, you got a 62-year-old man by the name of Michael Royce Sparks that actually took the lives of these two. And from what I'm seeing in the footage, his house was cluttered. Okay. And he could have been a prepper, like a doomsday prepper. Maybe he was, and maybe he's not. I don't know. But the fact that he was holed up under his house says something about this guy and what he is potentially capable of. But again, I want to see a mugshot. So hopefully we'll see one here soon, but I have yet to see anything about that. Okay. But guys, as we find out more information, which will be coming very, very soon, trust and believe we will be talking about it. Okay. Because for a fact, police are going to get more information and they're going to talk about it, right? They're eventually going to talk about it. Hold on. Let me see. There is another thing. Let me see this really quick. Vanishes. So I'm just looking at this article here. Press conference. But that's what I'm saying. And of course, the police have said that they do not know of any connection between the lawsuits and these two losing their lives. They still have not connected the dots. Now, again, while this officer is giving us this information and talking about all this stuff, they are still interrogating this monster while he's being locked up. So we already know that he's confessed to doing something, right? To doing this unthinkable thing. Hence the reason why they are confident that they are gone, that these two have deceased, and that their deceased bodies are on the premises of where they just raided. So hopefully he speaks on more stuff, that he's not just sitting there. And especially if he's in any way, shape, or form been paid or been finessed into doing this by the property manager or any of the people, any of the powers that be, okay? I hope he starts talking and he doesn't sit there and try to protect the other people, okay? If there's something sinister going on here. There may be levels to this, guys. Or it may be just like he couldn't take it anymore. He got angry and attacked them. Like I said, I want to know a little bit more about this whole situation and why these two lost their lives in such a grisly way. And hopefully we'll find out here very, very soon. But it may be a while because they still need to comb through the entire house that they just destroyed. Okay? Even they said that the house has sustained, Sparks' home sustained some significant damage. Why, though? It's not like the man did it to himself. Y'all took a Bearcat with a battering ram apparatus and destroyed half of the side of the house. So now you got rubble and potentially bodies underneath that rubble. You made more of a mess. And I also am wondering, again, what kind of person is this Sparks individual? Because you got to remember, they decided to just ram in the place. They didn't just knock down the door and go, hup, 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 hup. You know what I mean? Hands up, sir. They didn't do that. So did they think that this house was rigged with all kinds of boom booms? Is he that kind of like, you know what I mean? Off his rocker type of prepper, if you get what I'm saying? That he's got devices that go boom. Maybe he's got the whole place booby trapped or something like that. It's something to think about. But still, going in with such force like that, that doesn't, you know what I mean? Like I said, the weapon that could have taken these two lives, now just covered in rubble. It just doesn't make sense. Potentially covered in rubble. So yeah, like I said, it's weird. But cadaver dogs are going through the house right now, and that's what they're doing right now. They are starting to look into this thing and dig through all this rubble. So hopefully we'll find out here very, very soon what happened to these two. And may they get swift justice. All right. But anyway, guys, that's the show. I appreciate all y'all for being here. It really does mean a lot. Okay. Please do me a favor before you head out. Hit that like button down below. Don't forget to hit that reaction button if you're watching on other platforms. If you are watching on those other platforms, hit that follow button down below. That'd be greatly appreciated. Don't forget, crush that subscribe button here on my main channel. Check out my secondary channel, The Pascal Show Clips. Crush that subscribe button over there as well. That would be dope. That would be dope. Also, hit that join button down below. Become a member. That'd be awesome. And of course, hit that Patreon. Patreon.com/The Pascal Show. And of course, please check out my merch page, pascalmerch.com. Got some really great stuff over there, so go check it out. All right, guys. Anyway, it's time to get going. I'll be seeing you guys in a little bit. We got some more Madeline Soto audio and all that to listen to, so we will be doing that later on this afternoon. And then, of course, I have the exclusive interview with Jennifer Lewis coming out later on tonight, so be sure to tune into that. Anyway, guys, it is time to get going. Be good to yourselves. Be good to one another. We'll talk soon. This is The Pascal Show. Bye.